tonight. Oh, I do like this. See what's going on. Hey guys, so today it's been a minute since I've done a live video over here. So I'm excited to be before you guys today. So I won't keep you guys long. So listen, there is a lot going on in America. We all know that, right? But we also know there's a lot of people losing their jobs, in a time when there's so much uncertainty when it comes to employment. So many people don't know if they'll have a job tomorrow, right? So we all know that there's no such thing as job security. So it is a great time for you to look into becoming a specimen collector and starting your own mobile testing business. Why? Well, this is recession proof. If you want to be recession proof and have a recession proof business, then you need to get this high paying skill that pays the bills as a specimen collector. This right here is compliance. This industry and anybody that's in this industry, anybody that drives a big truck, flies a plane, operates a train, public transportation, as well as school bus, they are federally mandated by its law, right? It is law that they get tested. And it's not just a test here and there. Guys, this industry is huge, okay? Transportation is huge. It is even outside of transportation, but let's just touch on transportation for right now, okay? Anybody that drives a big truck, flies a plane, operates a train, public transportation, and school bus, they have to get tested every 3 months. They also have to get tested for pre-employment, reasonable suspicion, return to duty, post-accident, and other, right? So one of my students, comments on stage, what is this? No, that's something new. Okay, period. Okay, cool. Okay. Anyway, so one of my students, she was actually a first responder for a helicopter crash that happened maybe a month ago, over a month ago. She was a first responder for that, and because she was certified, qualified, available, she was able to go to that location where she actually had to go to the hospital, and she secured over $1,800 just doing 3 tests, right? So if this wasn't mandated, federally mandated, they could have had the crash and just went on by their business. But it does not work like that in this space. That's why it's so important for you guys to lock in and add on this high paying skill that pays the bills. Okay. There is no degree required to do this. You don't need a location. She doesn't have a location. Probably all of my students that I have that are working, that are active, I probably have about, I don't know, maybe 10 students that have brick and mortar locations. Everybody else is mobile. So you don't need a brick and mortar to do this. You can be mobile. And the great thing about mobile testing is mobile testers are needed in this space. As a mobile tester, you're helping the companies, right? You're making sure that they are staying that is flexible for them, convenient, and that they also stay in compliance. That is that is a big thing for them, compliance. Okay. And 9 times out of 10, businesses that you talk to, they're not going to be in compliance. Uh-uh. I need y'all to see my face right quick so you see what I'm talking. I need to see my face. I need you to see my face. There, 9 times out of 10, businesses that you talk to, they're out of compliance. It's just the name of the game, right? I understand that. I know that firsthand. 9 times out of 10, any business that, let me fix my collar. Any business that you talk to, they're going to be out of compliance. Why? Because they're chasing the bag. They have deadlines that they have to meet. They have projects that they're working on as well. So if they get a notification that 10 or 12 or 20, you have to realize these are huge companies, right? If they get a notification that 10 of their guys, even 5, even 1, people don't like for you to miss work, that their employees have to leave off site where they're working to go to a location, that's a problem for them, right? Because what? They have to leave that location, drive, go through traffic, get to the location, the on-site location for testing, and then they're sitting there for 3 or 4 hours, like they're at the hospital trying to get a CAT scan. So that is an issue that causes an inconvenience, that causes a disruption in their workflow, in their money. So anytime you can save them money like that, make sure that they're keeping their contracts right. They want to hear from you. Now, when I say make sure you're saving them money, I'm not talking about like giving them $30 off or $50. That if you give them a discount, okay, cool. But that doesn't matter to them. Some of these companies are huge. Some companies pay millions of dollars in testing per year. So you come and saving them a little $30, that they want to hear that. You making sure that they stay in compliance because they don't want their business to be shut down. That is an issue for them. They don't want their business shut down, right? And then they're not acquiring fees like we acquire a fee for a ticket or a speeding ticket or something like that, right? They're not getting $100 violation. Some of these companies are getting hit with fines 16,000 plus per violation, right? So that is what's happening. And especially in the medical field, they're getting hit with fines of 50,000 plus, right? So being is that this information, this is what you lead with, right? When you're talking to these companies, you lead with their pain points and you are the solution. Why? Because you're certified, you're qualified, you're flexible, right? Everybody has a job. Everybody got a job. Okay. And their job is not to have to deal with paperwork and CCF forms. So you're making sure that they're audit ready. You're making sure that their documentation is good. And if they have a post accident, you can show up. You're there. If there's pre-employment, you can show up. You're there. If there's a random, you can show up. You are there. This is what they need. They need people to come on site to do the testing. So let me pull my flyer back here for you guys so you guys can see it. Okay. So with that being said, guys, once you do get certified, there's no degree. So let's start. There's no degree required to do this. This is an online course for self-paced learning. Okay. So your certification is valid in all 50 states for 5 years. There's some new stuff they got on here. Stream, please no. Okay. Okay. So your certification is valid in all 50 states for 5 years. Once you get into my course, you will have a list of labs that you can partner with. Guys, this is major, right? It's great for a lot of people when they're first starting off, right? When you want to set up with a lab or partner with a lab, because one or two, some people don't care. Some people care. Me, I don't care. I'm gonna get my bread regardless, right? But when you partner with a lab, they're actually going to send you all of your supplies that you need. So they're going to send you your CCF forms. They're going to send you your split cups. They're going to send you your cups for DOT, for non-DOT, transportation bags, everything that you need. And also, you don't have to pay for shipping. You don't. They're going to actually send you your FedEx mailers, and it's going to have prepaid postage. So all you have to do is do the collections, seal it up, put it in a FedEx bag and ship it off. And you don't even have to pay for that. So these labs are very smart when it comes to this. They understand business and they understand that more equals more. So many companies, labs were companies in general, right? AI is taking over. But when we're talking about the labs, they want to be able to make money and not have to worry about take any risk, right? They want to make money and not worry about any type of risk. So when they partner with us, that is what's happening. We're helping them make money and save money at the same time. So they have people that's working for them, but they're not using their unique skills and talents to help bring the company more revenue, right? They're getting paid by the hour. If it's slow, they're strolling, they're on TikTok, they're on YouTube, they watching me live. They watching me live, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything, right? And then on top of that, they have to pay them insurance. They have to make sure they have dental and vision and health insurance and, and if they get fired, they have to, pay them unemployment. If they get hurt on a job, then that's workers' comp and they can possibly get sued These companies don't want to do that anymore. This is why AI is taking over. So when they partner with us, there's no risk, right? We're the company, right? We're no risk, we're the company. So when they partner with us, we're helping them make money as well as save money. How are we helping them make money? Well, we're sending our collections to the lab, right? We're sending our collections to the lab. So being is that they're doing the analysis for us, we have to pay them a fee to do that. And that fee can be anywhere between $7 and up. It just depends on what lab you are, partner with. Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. We're not done. We're not done. So if you want to go fast, you go by yourself. You want to go further, you bring other people with you. By them partnering with us, the labs close at 5 o'clock. No, they're not gonna be there later, no later than 6 o'clock. The labs are closed on weekends and they're also closed on holidays. As a me being a boss, I'm open. Like we working, right? Because listen, you probably I listen, when I was working for other people, I was pretty mad working on a holiday, only making $17 an hour, right? But on a holiday, me being my own boss, heck yeah, I leave and then go do a test, right? For $500, $1,000, $300, whatever it may be. Actually, one of my students today, she was on one of my lives on TikTok and she was letting me know that she did a post accident today for DOT and she made $304, right? So, guys, do the math, right? Do the math. Can you go to your 9 to 5 and make $300 before 5 o'clock? Can you go to your 9 to 5 and make $300 before 12 o'clock, right? So, just do the math. You make more money when you cut out the middleman. You have to be willing to cut out the middleman to just really thrive out here. The 9 to 5 is not designed for you to get ahead. It's designed for you to continue to work for other people and you got to keep coming back. So that's how that's set up. Okay. So anyway, if it will cost the labs billions of dollars to open 30,000 collection sites, right? Every company wants to expand, every company wants to grow. That's the goal, right? But them partnering with 30,000 people, right, like us, 30,000 collection sites is totally different, right? Because if 30,000 collection sites, we out here hustling, we're doing what we need to do. We're going to do what we need to do because we know what we're making. You see what I'm saying? We're not making $15 an hour. We're not making $16 an hour. We're making the big bucks. So we're going to market. We're going to work. We're going to put the work in. So if they have collect 30,000 collection sites that they're working with and they're getting $1,800 per month from one collection site, from all those collection sites, or 30,000 collection sites, guys, that's $54 million that the lab is getting. So these people are extremely smart. Pretty soon, they're not going to have their locations, they're not going to use their locations for walk-ins, right? They're only going to be using those locations just to do the analysis. And some of the labs already are not doing any walk-in tests, right? I actually talked to a young lady that works for LabCorp, and she told me that they no longer did tests at that location. And I knew that that was going to happen because one of my students was actually not hired, contracted out by a lab to do the testing. Hold on one second, guys. To do the testing for them. Allergies. Hold on one second. Okay, guys, I'm back. So she actually got contracted out by a lab to come and do the collections. And to me, I'm like, why would they do that? Because they're paying her more than the employees. I'm like, oh yeah, because employees are a liability, right? So guys, just lock in. Don't. Just lock in. We're gonna keep going, okay? We're gonna keep going, but lock in. Anyway, guys, also In my course, you do have community support free for 30 days. For 30 days. After 30 days, if you decide that you want to stay in the community, it is only $20 per month. Okay, that's if you want to stay connected to myself and other like-minded individuals. Okay, so guys, the money's in the marketing. Let's talk about how you get paid. So this is your business. So you will get your money up front. So you'll get paid directly from the employers, whoever you're dealing with, right? Now, say for instance, if one of the labs that you're partnering with and they want you to service some of their clients. So say if they send you clients, then that lab will pay you, right? But it's up to you. Let me show. Hold on one second. let me hold on one second. Okay, but it's up to you if you decide that you want to take that. Just make sure it makes sense, right? Because sometimes you may be dealing with a lab and they say, hey, we want you to service some of our clients. And say if you're doing DOT testing for them, and you already know they're getting paid 125, 100, whatever, it depends on where they're located. So let's say, for instance, if they're charging 125, 150 for a DOT test, right? And they say, hey, we want you to service some of our clients for us. And you say, okay, cool. But when you service one of the clients, they only want to give you $20 or $30. It's up to you. It's too much bread out here to be made to feel like, oh my gosh, I want to service their clients because they're sending me. Like, no, if it don't make money, it don't make sense, because you can make way more money going out here getting your own clients, because there's so many clients out here. The harvest is plenty, the workers are few. Okay, let's get back to it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that the harvest is plenty, the workers are few. And I talked to, see, I had a one-on-one. I talked to a young lady that has her own lab, and she was set up with FormFox or eScreen. I think it was eScreen, one of them. She was set up with them, but they were only giving her $11. And she was like, well, I'm kind of scared to go up on my price because they may not send me any more clients. I'm like, girl, they not even paying you enough anyway. Forget that clients. What you wasting time with them doing their clients, performing those collections, baby. You can be out here marketing and getting your own business. You know what I'm saying? So it just happens when people are new to the industry. They're maybe first time working on their own independently. So they kind of still have that 9 to 5, mindset. Baby, you are in this business to make money. Period. 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 Forget your little $11. Forget the $11. Pay me and stand on business. Period. Tell them what you want. Stand on business. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Moving on. Okay. So you will get paid cash, credit card, debit card, Stripe, Square, PayPal. Open up you a business bank account so you can take credit cards, set you up a merchant account, authorize.net, Heartland merchant, whomever. Just make sure you have a way for you to get paid. You want to show yourself as a professional in this business, right? You don't want to be like, oh, Cash App, baby, no. Which I do know a lot of companies do take Cash App now, but it's like, I don't know, like food trucks and stuff like that. I know they do Cash App, but for your business, you just want to make sure that you're presenting yourself as a professional that you are. Okay. And in my training, I show you step by step how to set up everything before you start contacting the labs, before you start going out here, marketing your business. So just know that. Okay. Anyway, so what do we go over? Okay. Let's do a quick recap. Oh, let's go over the training right quick. So guys, the training is very simplistic. It's not hard at all. I actually have people that register for my course and they pass the written exam within an hour of registering for the course. Okay. So guys, when you get into my course, everything is digital. Everything is digital. Everything is digital. Okay. So there's going to be written material that you look over, that you study, right? Once you look at the study material, plus I have pop quizzes, right? So you're looking at the material, there's quizzes, there's answers. And then once you're done, you go over and you take the final exam. You have to score at least an 85% on it. It's not hard. I just told you. They pass within an hour of registering for the course, okay? It is digital. For some reason, if you don't pass, you just retake it. You just retake it, but you should pass because it's not hard. The only way you don't pass is if you just say, let me just go in here and do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you just do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then you ain't gonna pass. But if you're looking at the material, you're like, oh, okay, cool, this is easy because it's not hard. It's not hard, okay? So study the material. Also, guys, you're going to receive a guide. You're also going to receive a guide as well that's going to be in a training, and you download this. This is your DOT Bible, right? You need to have this guide with you everywhere you go, no matter if you have a mobile location or a brick and mortar. So it doesn't matter. You want to have this because guess what? This is going to show you how to do your collections, right? It's going to also, every step in here shows you how to do the collection process, right? So say for instance, if you've done 100 tests, and every test that you've done they've been uneventfuls, they've been shy bladders, uneventful, shy bladder, donor refuse to sign. And then all of a sudden you get a temperature out of range. You're like, oh my gosh. Now I knew how to do a temperature out of range 6 months ago or whatever, but I'm kind of rusty and I don't kind of remember the steps. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your guide. You're gonna go to your guide. You're gonna say, look it up. Let me look at this temperature out of range to make sure I'm doing this right. Because I kind of remember, but I just need to check to see. You're just gonna look at it and say, okay, boom, this is your business. You want to make sure that CCF form is right. Understand me? Understand me? What? This is your business, and you want to make sure that that CCF form is filled out correctly, and what you're doing is correct. You ever been to the hospital and you see them people looking at that medical book, baby? They looking for the solution to the problem. And they can't remember all that stuff. They like, wait a minute. If you don't use it, you lose it. So you're like, wait, let me see. And that's what you do. Okay. So you'll have a guide with you as well. Once you're done passing the written exam, then you move over to study your mock exam. So you're watching videos, right? The longest video for the mock exam is literally 7 minutes. 7 minutes. It's not hard, right? So once you go ahead, study for your mock. Listen, I suggest anyone that's studying for the mock to actually go through the motion, go through the steps with, role playing, right? Go through the steps. Hi, how are you? I will be doing your collection today. Do you have your ID? May I have your ID? You're looking at their ID, like you're going through the steps. You're looking at your CCF form. You're going through the steps. You're opening the cup up. You're putting, you're going through the steps versus just listening to it. Because I do have people that register for my course and they drive, like they're drivers. They do transportation for a living. So they're not actually going through the motion of it. They're just listening. They're just listening, right? Also, I do have people that work for the lab. And when they don't study, But when they take their mock exam or when they start looking through the material, they're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. This is like we've been doing things wrong because the labs they do things wrong, right? They're just complacent. I just want to say they're just complacent, right? So I've had people that work for the lab, and then when they take their mock exam, they didn't study and they ain't pass. Because they teach them, they don't do the things right at the lab. It's totally different. At the lab, if you make a mistake, they'll just say, hey, okay, cool. We're just going to retrain you on this. But you having your own business, you don't want to make mistakes like that. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different. They'll retrain you over there, right? And you probably still be getting paid by the hour or whatever for retraining. But over here with your business, you don't want to make those type of mistakes. So that's why you want to be training and looking at the material. Okay, let's get back to it. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, so once you pass the mock exam, when you're ready for your mock exam, you're gonna book on my website, which you will have access to my calendar in the training in the community, and we will meet via Zoom, and then you will demonstrate to me the 5 collection scenarios. The 5 collection scenarios that you will be demonstrating to me is a temperature out of range, donor refuse to sign, shy bladder, and you're going to do the uneventful twice. Okay, twice. Now, for the donor refuse to sign, you don't even have to go through those steps. I just asked you, what do you do if a donor refuses to sign? Or maybe through the process, when you're doing your paperwork and you tell your donor, hey, sign this. Or if I'm acting as your donor and I say, I don't want to sign that, you say, no problem. I'm just going to put it in the remarks section. You don't have to sign it, but I'm required by law, by DOT guidelines, to put in here that You refuse to sign, right? So just put in the notes, donor refuse to sign. It's so simple. So actually, you're really only doing 4 collections. Okay. So don't freak out. I got you. Don't freak out. I got you. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Moving on. Oh, marketing, guys. You have to market your business. All right. The money's in the marketing. If you are broke, I mean, if you're quiet, you're broke. If you're broke, it's because you're quiet. So just remember that. If you're quiet, you are broke. You have to be willing to make noise in this business. No one's gonna know who you are if you're not making noise. So how are you marketing, right? Do you got an ad in the paper? Do you got brochures? Do you have business cards? What are you doing to market your business? Are you in the chamber of commerce, right? If you're gonna be cheap and say, well, I don't want to spend no money on marketing, then you're gonna have to hit the ground, baby. You still gonna have to spend money on some type of marketing because you need flyers, you need business cards, right? So if you're gonna put an ad in the paper, it's really cheap to market, guys. You can put an ad in the paper and let people know that you're offering random, non-DOT random drug tests for the month of June, for the month of July for $20, right? $120, $120 random. You just trying to get your foot in the door. $20 randoms. They went, yeah, we were contacting you about the $20 random. Yeah, we offer you a $20 random. One, get your foot in the door. You can even offer a free random for 1 per location. Only one, right? You're just getting your foot in the door, right? Make sure you're in the Chamber of Commerce, the Black Chamber of Commerce. Make sure that you're doing job fairs, right? One of my students, she did a job fair. She actually got a contract with a delivery service, right? Guys, you only need three customers per day. If you're doing 3 customers per day at 125, what, 375? 125 times 3. That's $375 per day. If you're working Monday through Friday, that's $1,875. Anything that you get in on the weekend, that's extra. After hours, that's extra, right? You're making more money. But that's $7,500 per month. Guys, don't listen. 3 clients per day is not hard. 15 per week, that's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard to do, right? But you have to be willing to market your business. It's not hard to get 3 clients per day. Okay. So don't worry about trying to get so many clients. A lot of people say, well, what about contracts? You don't need contracts to make money in this business. And most of the times when they're talking about contracts, they're talking about government contracts. Okay. They're talking about government. So with government contracts, there's nobody that can help you get a contract, not a government contract. Okay. Nobody. How do you get a government contract? You bid the lease. That's it. So say if you're bidding on a contract to do drug testing, right? And you may have 100 other businesses bidding on this contract. They bidding at 175, 225, 300 because they be bidding, right? And you decide to put your bid in at $100 or $80. So say if they got 300, that's $24,000. If you say, you know what, I'm gonna do it for $80 and they got 300 people, that's $24,000, right? You will win the bid because your bid is lower. You're bidding lower. What time is it? I gotta go live on TikTok because you're bidding lower. So that's how you win a government contract. That's it. That's all. Nothing special, nothing, no secret. You just bid lower. That's how you win a government contract bid. But don't worry about that right now. Just starting out. Get some skin in the game. Be happy with your $7,500 a month. Let's just get what is your goal? What do you want to make per month? That's it. You say, you know what? I'm trying to make $5,000 per month, right? Then we can take it down. Let's see. 250 times, what am I doing? Oh, 5. That's 1,250 times 4. That's $5,000 right there. So 2 tests per day at 125 Monday through Friday. That's $5,000 per month. Can you do that? You can do that, but you got to be certified and qualified to do it. Okay. So this is where this comes in at. You got to be certified and qualified, okay? So if you're trying to acquire $5,000 a month, right? Then you need to get certified and qualified. Take my course, right? You're going to be certified in both DOT as well as non-DOT. It's only $400, right? To be certified in both. Guys, let me take this out. Did you see what I said? Baby, I spent the block. Go look at the prices out here. Go look at what everybody's charging. I spent the block. Boop. And I don't listen. I don't just sell courses. I change lives. Go look at my testimonials over there on TikTok. I probably got some on here too. I don't just sell courses, baby. I change lives. It's impossible to be connected to me and not get a bag. The only way you don't get a bag is if you don't want one. Okay. It's only $400. Check the link tree in my bio. Payment plans are available. Sizzle Shop Pay Klarna as well as Afterpay. Okay. If you want to be a specimen collector plus trainer and take the trainer course, it's only $600. With the trainer course, guys, you're able to train your own employees if you want to expand, train other people, employees, sell your own courses as another stream of income. Hello. And you open up 10 plus streams of income for yourself as a trainer. Let's go over those streams right quick. Okay, so as a trainer, my little notebook is. What my little notebook is. Okay, guys. So as a trainer. Okay. So guys, you're already getting paid to do DOT and non-DOT. And we went over that, right? So we already know for DOT testing, we're charging anywhere between $125 to $250. After hours, charge $1,000. I used to say charge $500. No, that's no. You're thinking small. $1,000. Because why? You're dealing with businesses here. These are companies. They have the money. They have allocated funds for this. You're dealing with multi-million-dollar companies, baby. They got plenty of money and they ready to pay you before you even leave the house. Okay. So don't underbid yourself. And you got to travel, add mileage in there, all of the things. Okay. if you want to get out of the struggle, you got to have something to sell, for sale, of service, and something to offer to a business. So charge what you charge. $1,000, period. And then that's just for one. That's just to leave the house and for one person. They got 3 or 4 or 5 people, then you constantly add on, maybe $250, $300 per person after that, whatever, $400, $500, whatever. They got the money, okay? Okay. Non-DOT. I'm just saying, don't shortchange yourself out here, baby. No, don't take your foot off their neck, okay? Non-DOT, we're charging anywhere between $55 to $85. For non-DOT, at the hours, what are you charging? $1,000. Okay, at the hours, $1,000. Okay, now 3 streams of income. Now that you are a trainer and you're able to train other people, of course, you're going to market and talk about your course. Guys, our brothers and sisters are going through a lot out here, baby. If you have the means and the resources to reach back and pull other people with you, why wouldn't you? You see what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you pull them back with you? You have the resources now, right? So of course you're gonna market and tell people, listen, I have my course available, get certified, start your own mobile testing business, baby. This is what people need. People don't know. People working jobs and living in storage units. People are working jobs and living in their car. They don't know that these type of opportunities exist. I'm only one person. I can't do it by myself. Your vibe brings your tribe. I've had thousands of people to see me promote this course, right? But they're not vibing with me. They vibing with you. So you got to tap in, baby. They ready for you. They ready for you, okay? So that's 3 streams of income for the non-DOT, right? Let me let y'all see the course. Let me put this back up here right quick. Okay, so that's for the non-DOT, right? They want to know how much do you charge, right? Listen, I've seen do I have these fees on here? Let me see. I've seen non-DOT for $750. Do I have them on here? I'm gonna have to make sure I put these on here the next time I come live so I can show y'all this. So I can show y'all these. Non-DOT I've seen for $750. Okay. So that's 3 streams of income. 4 streams of income. DOT I've seen for $950, right? I've seen them for that. That's the start. $950 and up, baby. They go up. They have $2,000, $6,000 for the full course. Okay. 5 streams of income, guys. Now that you are an instructor, if you decide to get into this industry, right, and pour into yourself, right, learn information that way you can pour into other people, become a person of value, right, then people will book you for mentorship. Someone actually booked me for mentorship today, right? My 30-minute call started 150 for 30 minutes, right? I'm a person of value. I come on live all the time and give gems. I give people so much information. They ain't even sign up with me. So many people tell me, I watch your lives just to get information. You drop so many gems. I've learned so much from you than I have with whomever they sign up with. You see what I'm saying? But just become a person of value and the money will chase you down. Okay. So that's 5 streams of income. 6 streams of income, guys. Being is that you are an instructor. You can offer the mock exam. Okay. Now, my mocks, they do come included with my course. They come included with my courses. Okay. The mock comes included with the course. So many companies offer them separately. Okay. So somebody may have taken a course and they was like, well, I didn't know that it didn't come with the mock because I paid $1,000. Right. So now they're looking for you. They're looking for an instructor, a trainer that can give them the mock exam. I personally only charge $175 for the mock. I've seen the mock for $700. I've seen the mock for. They charge it. Okay. 7 streams of income. I also offer the mock preparation handheld session, and that is for people that have horrible anxiety when it's time to take tests. Okay. I actually charge $150 for that. Guys, when you start doing something new, it actually gives birth to new ideas. It gives birth to new ideas, right? So I received a download like, oh my gosh, yeah, when I started doing this, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can offer that because I have horrible anxiety as well when it's time to take tests. So I was like, okay, cool, let me offer that. And I offer that, guys. So there's 7 streams of income, okay? 8 streams of income. You as a trainer, there's going to be other people that are already certified and now they want to be trainers as well. My trainer course, if they're already certified, is $500. Okay. But as you can see, I have the bundle right here where they get all 3. They get the DOT course, the non-DOT course, and the trainer course for $600. So that is 9 streams of income. Okay. 10 streams of income. If you decide that you want to do in-person classes, guys, where y'all, it's a flyer here, where y'all hustle at, right? In-person classes. One of my students, she's a trainer now. She does 2 in-person classes per month, and her classes are always full. So, guys, where you hustle at, right? You can put up local ad up on social media in your hometown. Most people that's on social media, they, network with most people that they know in their hometown, people from school and stuff like that. However you decide to market, put an ad on the paper, do the radio. July 13th at the Marriott Hotel. Come on down, get certified, start your own mobile drug testing business. Only $1,000. Right? So that's 10 streams of income. Where you hustling, y'all? The money is out here. Y'all stop playing. 11 streams of income. Being is that you are a trainer and you offer mock exam. Of course, you're going to sell mock supplies, right? I sell mock supplies. That's 11 streams of income, 12 streams of income, right? If your students don't have a donor present and they want to book you as a virtual donor, they can book you as a virtual donor. That's 12 streams of income. I used to offer that service. I used to charge my students for that, but I just started charging 2 years? They're 2 years in because there's no accountability. People was not showing up, no call, no show. It was just too much because I take my time out to support everybody. So if I'm supporting, clearing my schedule to make sure I'm here, supporting you as your donor, then show up. But since they don't want to show up, no problem. you can book me as a virtual donor. Okay. So that is 12 streams of income, guys. Not only that, because I decided to make a move, but because I decided to do something different, guys, it gives birth to new ideas. So not only do I have those 12 streams of income, right? I also can do hair collections, that's 13, DNA, that's 14, nail, and oral, that's 16 streams of income. Also, guys, or also error collector training. I also offer that too. That's 17 streams of income. Plus, I also offer other guides, and just things that I create because I just fill in the gap, like things that are missing. I fill in the gap and I create things for that, right? So, guys, that is it, right? So the test is not hard. Getting certified is not hard. None of those things are not hard, right? What can be difficult for people is just getting them out of their comfort zone, right? So the fear is a big thing that holds. Why can't I see this? Fear is a huge thing that holds people back, right? You don't know, fear the unknown, you're afraid, you're scared, entertaining those intrusive thoughts that are not real, that are not true. What's going on right now in this world? You do not have time to operate in fear, baby. You gotta do what you gotta do for you. Do you not see how hard they're pushing to get rid of so many things that people have been relying on? Social Security, Medicaid, SNAP, HUD, like all of these things that people have been relying on. These people don't care. You have to take a stand and care. You have to know that your gifts will make room for you. I left corporate America over 13 years ago. And I didn't look back because my gifts made room for me comfortably. I can stretch my arms and my legs and my toes and my fingers and everything. Like I can stretch them comfortably, and I'm always creating. We came from a creator. God created me to create. So that is what I do. I follow principle. I show up. I sow my seeds. I reap my harvest. And that's just principle, right? So I'm going to always reap a harvest. And of course, if you're working a job, you're reaping a harvest, of course. But the harvest that you're reaping, it has a cap. It's capped off at $25 an hour, $20 an hour, 15 or 17, whatever. There's a cap. They're not going to give you your full harvest. They're not going to give you a full harvest, right? So you have to be willing to step out on faith, believe in yourself. It may sound cliche, but it is what it is, baby. You got to believe in yourself. These people don't believe in you enough to pay you enough to buy you some land to get out of America. If you want to get out of America, So I just see so many stories of people every day, and that was once my story. I was broke. I had no money. I lived from check to check, baby. Extension after extension. Hello, hide my car. Baby, listen, that was too much. I had already hit bottom. I'm like, listen, I can't go no lower than this. Only where I can go now from here is up. I left corporate America making $17 an hour with a negative $249 in my account. When I started my first business, I made $2,000 my first day in business. 4,000 my first week, 8,000 my second week, because I had something to sell, for sale, of service, and something to offer to a business. Something that I know now that I didn't know then. I'm money. When I show up, the money shows up. You are money. When you show up, the money shows up. Okay. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. I just wanted to come and spend some time with you guys because I haven't been live over here on YouTube in a minute. So listen. Don't procrastinate, guys. The harvest is plenty. The workers are few, baby. It's not oversaturated out here. We need a you. It still needs a you, baby. Okay. So click the link tree in my bio. You need more information. Go to the link tree in my bio. Go to where it says how to start a mobile testing service. Look at the information. At the end of the day, it's really up to you. You can do it if you want to. Okay. But there's nothing stopping you. No failure. Only limitations is what you put on yourself. Okay. But thank you so much for listening, giving me your listening ear. Thank you so much. And I will see you later. Zoo. If I let this